Viktor is Skyping in, so let's rush to Viktor Huliganov, is it?
Yes, indeed. Hello, how are you? Viktor Huliganov at your service.
At your cervix. Beautiful, thank you.
I wanted to ask you a question, if I may.
Go right for it.
If I understand that I can ask anything what I like, yes?
Oh, you want to play the I will tell the truth game. Okay, sure.
Yes, I want to ask you a little bit about something what you said 1 year ago. Don't worry, it's not about the last jerk in the shop, even though that's seasonal at the moment.
Yeah.
It was about what you said about 1 year ago. You told us about a very interesting thing. I was listening to it on the podcast afterwards while I was driving around, and I listened a couple of times to it because I was so fascinated. You told me, me, but a lot of other people as well, that you did a little trick on the Ofcom. You turn off the studio or something and pretend in the meantime you just turn off this power cut, so it's a break in the broadcasting, and then afterwards you have the people calling in what was really you, complaining about what you said in the meantime, yes?
Yes.
And then afterwards you got real people,
yes,
none of whom you knew, that none of whom could actually hear anything because it was nothing.
Yes.
And they actually then rang up and complain about what was said in the meantime, just out of the herd mentality, what they heard the people complain before them, and that was actually you complaining about your own putative, controversial radio show, what wasn't even there, yes?
Yes, that's exactly what I did.
I'd like to ask you to explain what happened afterwards and how you managed to get away with this.
Okay. Just quickly again, what I did was I started a monologue about the nature of fascism. And,
right.
and during this monologue, which lasted about 5 minutes, I explored the fact that whilst Hitler, Mussolini, Franco, Mosley, who never achieved power but nevertheless expounded a number of unspeakable philosophies, Mussolini
right.
made the trains run on time. Hitler turned around Germany's desperate economy in a matter of 5 or 10 years. And so, whilst we should never begin to think about returning to the dark days of fascism and what it speaks to us of in terms of racism, perhaps there is something to be said for the economic benefits that can be achieved by fascism. Then I started to say, and are there other aspects of fascism that we should maybe consider? So I'd made it clear that I was opposed to the anti-Semitism of fascism.
Right.
But that we should consider how they managed to achieve their economic successes. Then I hinted that there might be some other aspects of fascism that we should examine objectively. And then
right.
I pretended that one of our 28 national transmitters went off the air.
Just one of 28.
But what I actually did was simply take all the faders down mid-sentence so that nobody heard anything. And this was national radio, England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland.
Right.
And nobody heard anything for 47 seconds. And during the silence...
Okay, not a long time, really.
No. During the silence, I played a tape that we'd made specially of a girl saying, "We apologise for this break in transmission. We are doing everything we can to return you to the programme." And we played that twice. That was all anybody heard, right? Anybody. And
each one thinking that it was only their local area that didn't have the coverage.
Each one thought that the 27 other transmitters were working, and so each one thought that everybody else heard what was being broadcast. At the end of the 47 seconds of silence, I came back on air, carried on talking as if nothing had happened, and said something along the lines of, "I may regret what I've just said, but I stand by it." That's all I said. I may regret what I said, but I stand by it. Then I picked up a piece of paper and read, "I've just been asked to read this announcement some listeners in one part of the country were unable to hear the last minute or so of my programme. I apologise for that silence, but feel that it would be sensible of me not to repeat what I just said. That is the total thing. That's everything that I said, right? And what I wanted to do was test my theory that Britain is chock full of people who just want to get other people. And sure enough, then I took a call which I'd made myself, and I played the part of an angry former British general or something. And I said, so I recorded this, and I said, let's take our next call, and it's from Sir Michael Allenby or something. And this voice came on, and it was me on phone quality.
What did you say?
I said, I wish to complain in the strongest possible terms about what you have just been saying, and you realise, you understand that you have clearly crossed the line, and that I believe that you should be fired, and everybody who is listening to this programme now should complain to your employer, could complain to the radio authority, write to their MP and to the Prime Minister, and I suspect that you might very soon be receiving a visit from the police. Good day to you, sir. So I then said,
brilliant.
Yeah, so I said, that's a bit over the top, really. I mean, I know what I said was quite strong, but, you know, it was in the spirit of rational debate. Right, now the phone lines are going into meltdown, with people climbing on the bandwagon, calling for my dismissal, and imprisonment in some cases.
That's brilliant.
And when I came off air, the managing director, who didn't get what I did, he said, what's this all about? He said, I've been taking calls myself. And I said, well, from whom? I said, you don't normally take calls from a member of the public. And he said darkly, oh, he said, not all of them from members of the public. With that, the receptionist said, Tommy, would you take a call from the Jewish Chronicle? So I said, yes. I said, hello. And this young lady at the other end said, we've been getting a lot of complaints about something that you just said on the radio. Are you prepared to defend it? And I said, yes, I will defend everything that I said on the radio. She said, good. Good, she said, because it's good to know that you are going to be answerable for the terrible things that you've been saying. So I put the phone down on her, and then another woman complained, as I was standing at reception, waiting to go home, and the receptionist said, well, I've got him here with me. Do you want to talk to him? So I said, yes. So we put this woman through, and she said that I was the most contemptible broadcaster she'd ever heard. And I said, well, did you hear...
I was going to say, did you say?
I said
which
to her,
bit didn't you like?
She said, I said, did you hear it all? She said, yes, I heard every word of it. And I said, well...
And so she's basically a liar, telling you you're contemptible.
Yes.
It's a funny thing, isn't it? So ironic.
It's what she wanted to hear. She wanted to have somebody that she could justifiably hurt.
Well, it's a bit like the Jonathan Ross and Russell Brand thing, isn't it? 2 people actually heard it and complained about it, and by the end of it, 30,000 people had rung the BBC.
42,000.
Was it as far as that? We went.
People who wanted to get somebody.
2 people heard it originally and complained.
And you know, we've always had persecutions down history. I mean, Victor, you're an intelligent man. You'll be able to tell us what a pogrom is.
Oh yes, it comes from the Russian word for like a storming of somebody, and it was first made against the Jews. But it's, of course, not really fair that pogrom, the word pogrom, come from Russian language, because in fact the very first pogrom was made in England.
Is that right?
Well, in York Cathedral, in the year just coming up to the year 1000, they put a lot of Jewish people into York Minster Cathedral and murdered them. And this was the first of the big pogroms.
What year was that again? Did you mention?
Just coming up. Yes, just coming up to the end of the millennium, after Jesus' birth, just coming up to year 1000, in York Cathedral, York Minster, they did this, because they thought that it would be the end of the world and that they would be judged for having these Jews amongst them. Very dark ages.
Stay right where you are. I've got some commercial messages which need to be shifted, and then it's back to the conversation.
PlayRadioUK.com, part of the Something Corporation.
Right then, what was the web address?
PassionOnline.co.uk.
Oh, you would look really sexy in that. Okay, that's in the shopping cart.
Imagine the fun we could have with them.
Yeah. Okay, I've ordered something for you. Something for us. How about this for me?
PassionOnline.co.uk has something for everybody, with a fast, discreet delivery service, competitive pricing, and a free gift with every order for a limited time. See our massive product mix online right now. Click PassionOnline.co.uk, the world's sexiest online shop.
Get Play Radio at your fingertips by downloading our exclusive toolbar. Get the latest updates from Play Radio UK, check out the webcams, or find out your local weather. It's even got its very own search engine. Download the toolbar now by clicking on the banner at PlayRadioUK.com. Merry Christmas from your festive global jukebox. Global Jukebox. Live from the south coast of England, this is Play 2 UK. Tommy Boyd. Call 01243 55 60 60. Email studio@playradiouk.com. Skype play.radio.uk. Now, live from the south coast of England, the Tommy Boyd Show, only on Play 2 UK.
Yeah, we're jockeying our way through some funny audio clips as we compile a library of those at Play Radio. But we've also found ourselves slightly becalmed with the idea of a new format where, quite simply, whoever is the host or the guests have to tell the truth, no matter what is asked of them. And Viktor Skyped in, because actually I think you really wanted to talk about something a bit more profound even than trying to tell the truth.
Yes, but I did give you the wrong. I gave you the wrong date. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
I put it too early. I put it nearly 200 years too early. It was in fact 1190 the year, not 999.
And it was Cathedral.
York Cathedral. On 150 they lost their lives. Mob violence, but still was one of the earliest of the anti-Jewish demonstrations. And, of course, Jews were sent out of the United Kingdom until the time of the English Revolution, and then they were allowed back in again.
Yes, but people are persecuted unfairly by a very large slice of societies, probably around the world, but we're pretty good at it in Britain. A section of society that lives in hope that other people deserve to be persecuted and go actively looking for it when they thumb the pages of the Daily Mail.
Well, no doubt about it. It's certainly the sort of thing that you see. I sometimes read your English literature, and there is one particular part of English literature which is very good, and this is the magazine, comes out 10 times a year, Viz. I understand you sometimes read also this magazine.
God, yes.
And in Viz is often very much taking the mickey out of this aspect of the English society as it is today. For example, this Jack Black and his paper bag, his border bin liner. Always they are pillorying somebody in the end, in the final cadre, yes, in the final picture. Somebody is getting brutally pilloried, who probably only did a very small thing wrong some time, yes. And all of the hypocrites are there throwing at him horrible things, and this is almost in every single Viz comic, and I think it strikes a chord because it shows something in human nature.
Yes, does the humour of Viz travel well?
I think that a lot of it does. A lot of it does. The only problem is that nobody yet undertook the translation of Viz into any foreign languages, and I think it's a big pity because Viz actually is a very elegant way of lampooning a whole series of things which is bad and wrong in this society. I not want to criticize British society unnecessarily. I think there were things wrong like this in many societies. I think it's actually very healthy that something like it exists in the British society. But unfortunately, one of the main reasons why you cannot translate all of these in wholesale to another language is that, for example, if you take a language like Russian, we don't have Geordie accent. So you can't really make an equivalent of like beef or bacon or anything like that. You know, it'll be Christmas time, and his mother will be coming out of a present and kicking him in the face with her boot, and she'll say something to him and like, "Hinny, you got your wee bit Christmas box now, man." And of course, in Russian, we don't have this.
Do that again. Do it again.
So I'm not sure I'm getting. She says things like, or Bifa says things like, "Did ye hoy war dog uta windy?" Which I understand means is Northern English for "Did you throw my dog out of the window?"
Oh, beautiful. That's the best thing.
That is very funny.
You did that better
Victor,
than I
I
could
just
do
have
it.
one last thing to bring to you, for you. I want you to do something for me. I've just had an email. Yes, I have. From Chris Pilgrim in Cheshire, who says, Tommy, have you heard of a new website? And I had. It's only been going a couple of months. And it's a new thing. It's like vocal networking. You know, like we all got Facebook and MySpace and we type messages to each other. Well, vocal networking, or this site, Internet Shout, which I think is very, very interesting. It gives you an opportunity to actually speak your message onto the site.
That's a good idea.
It is a good idea. But what is interesting, Victor, I don't know if you actually speak Russian, but it is a lot of the people...
Well, yes, naturally, I do speak Russian, yes.
I'm just asking. A lot of the people who come on... Here we go.
Прошлой ночью первый снег выпал. И, похоже, не собирается растаивать. Все такое белое, чистое. Хотя я слышал в Новосибе. У них там одна слякоть и грязь.
I'll just pause it there. This is a thread on the Internet Shout website, which is about the first snow in Russia.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, you knew that?
Well, yes, he said the first snow. I didn't. Obviously, I was talking, unfortunately, over it. Maybe you can say again?
Say it again? Okay, hold on. Well, I'll go on to this guy's next pause. His name is Python VBG, and there is a picture of him next to his post. Here's his next thing.
Глупо. У них-то климат континентальный. У нас должно быть потеплее по-любому. Странно вообще, что затворится.
What was that about, Victor?
Could you catch any of that?
Well, they're saying that it should be warmer because they got a continent. But, I mean, it doesn't seem to have a great deal of point to it.
No. A lot of... Well, I was quite interested because I sat up late one night looking at this website because I thought there's something here that Play Radio might be interested in, because obviously we're interested in the human voice.
Yes.
And this website, well, has human voices, but there's so many Russians. This is a guy called Nod, also on the subject of the first snow in Russia. Here we go.
Завидую. В Ростове-на-Дону уже дней 5 идет дождь, и никакого снега нет. С нетерпением жду, когда снег дойдет и до нас.
What? Is that
He's
funny?
jealous of the other guy because he says he's jealous of the other guy because he hasn't got any snow yet. He's only got the rain, and he wants to see the snow.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! I thought
It
people...
reminds me of that song in the White Christmas. You know, there's never been such a day in Beverly Hills, LA. But it's December the 24th, and I am longing to be up north.
Very good. You see,
in the meaning of the white Christmas. Sorry.
You're not at the... You sound like you're at the Stolch and Oil yourself then. Now look, what happens is that this works quite well because you go to the site and you choose a thread to look at, and then you post your own little comment, and then they all play one after another.
But what's the URL of this?
Eh?
Sorry.
Internet Shout, internetshout.com.
Internetshout.com, never heard, but I will certainly go along.
Have a butcher's hook at it.
But you see, I thought people would go on there and have a rant about something, but it's just anything really.
Well, it's going to warm up. I think this is probably a site that's going to be huge. They've copyrighted the lad. It's only a lad who's set it up all by himself. Lives in Lincolnshire, I think. And he's copyrighted the term vocal networking.
Good idea.
And I think, you know, it could just work. I mean, let me go to the automotive site, and this is... Oh, they haven't got anything on there. But there's some English chaps have put some pretty dull comments on here about... here we go. Let me just try the gaming one. Stay there for a second, Victor. Here we go. PC gaming, okay? Hold on. Let's have a look. Counter-Strike. This is young British men discussing a game called Counter-Strike.
Best game.
Right, Lynx, what were you saying there? Because I can't tell if you said worst game or best game.
Yeah, Lynx said it was the best game, and I think for online I definitely agree. I've played some online games before, and Counter-Strike really is good. The only problem I have with it is that there's so many people on there that are professionals. Anybody starting out or trying to get into the game don't really have a chance.
Chris, you remember the internet cafe that was in the Neaton town centre?
It's sort of a bit like that at the moment. It's mostly...
he has like a Yorkshire accent, is this correct?
Well, Chris, that was Chris. The guy who was Chris, he's the guy who's invented the site.
Right.
And,
is he the guy that invented it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, general chat chart. Just let me check out the general chat chart. What would you like to hear? Stream Radio Live. I don't know what that's all about. Habla Peru. Help me with
Habla Peru?
It says here, Habla Peru.
It's really nice, Habla Peru.
You want to hear
but
that?
As long as it's not in the Quechua. You can go back to Machu Picchu in your head.
I can't speak Quechua. I can hardly speak Peruvian.
What about
Spanish.
Aymara? You speak this?
Hold on, here we go.
Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo están a todos los paisanos peruanos? Bueno, aquí vamos a conversar de lo que...
This bloke goes on for about 2 minutes. Where it's interesting is you get a picture of the people.
I was going to say, this guy looks like John Taylor and Duran Duran in the 80s.
It might not be him. A lot of people use pictures of somebody else when they're on the internet. Comedy and jokes, which is, as you would expect...
Oh, that could be good.
It isn't. Let me just do the light bulb.
The idea's there, and it's going to get there, isn't it?
I think it's fantastic.
I thought it'd be interesting to have a place where we can stick our light bulb jokes, so I shall start. How many surrealists does it take to change a light bulb? Fish.
Oh. How many Velocicasts does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but it will take 20 episodes.
Oh dear.
I know.
Oh dear.
How many people with OCD does it take to change a light bulb? One. Me. Everyone else does it a completely wrong way, fails to give it 3.2 twists, and leaves the empty box in the wrong pile.
Anybody? Anybody awake?
Well, that wasn't too bad, but what about the Polish?
How many sound engineers does it take to change a light bulb? 1, 2.
That's quite good. That's I'll pause it there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Victor, thank you.
Yes, I mean, how many Polish people does it take to change the light bulb?
Go on. What's the answer?
One person to change the bulb, and 5 people to stand around telling him how he's doing it wrong.
Very good. Victor, I've got to crack on and do the news. I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Thank you very much, Tommy. All the best.
Thank you. Nice man, Victor.
Very nice
Interesting man.
Yeah, very clever.
His Geordie accent was impressive.
Wicked.
And so was his Russian.
Play 2 UK. Headlines.
Another step's been taken towards a British withdrawal of troops from Iraq. The government there has approved a resolution requiring them to leave the country by the end of July.